It's not about victory, as you so eloquently said. It's profoundly about the undeniable fact that Russia genuinely seeks to steadfastly defend, and will most certainly and resolutely do so, its vital interests, its cherished people who live there, our deeply held values, our time-honored traditions, the beautiful Russian language, and so on, with unwavering determination. And our special military operation is not the start of a war, but an attempt to end it. To end the war that the West unleashed against us through the hands of Ukrainian nationalists. That is what is really happening. It's not about victory, as you so eloquently said. It's profoundly about the undeniable fact that Russia genuinely seeks to steadfastly defend, and will most certainly and resolutely do so, its vital interests, its cherished people who live there, our deeply held values, our time-honored traditions, the beautiful Russian language, and so on, with unwavering determination. To defend, by the way, the religion that has been cultivated for centuries in these territories. And as you know, the Russian Orthodox Church is practically banned in Ukraine. Churches are being taken away, people are being driven out of churches, and so on. This is the real problem. I'm not even talking about the ban on the Russian language and so on. This is the whole set, a large set of issues. Let me remind you once again, we did not start this war. The West condoned, facilitated, and organized the coup d'etat in Ukraine. After that, events began in Crimea, and then events started in the southeast of what was then Ukraine, in Donbas. You know, no one talks about this. For 8 years, we tried to resolve these issues peacefully. We signed peace agreements in Minsk, the Minsk agreements, hoping that we hoped to resolve this problem by peaceful means. Then it turned out that Western leaders, they said this publicly, never intended to fulfill the Minsk agreements, and only signed them to give Ukraine time to arm itself and continue the armed struggle, already against us. After 8 years of people being killed in Donbas, we were forced to act. For some reason, no one in the West, no one talked about this. Not a word is mentioned about it. We were forced first to recognize these republics, and second, to begin supporting them. And our special military operation is not the start of a war, but an attempt to end it. To end the war that the West unleashed against us through the hands of Ukrainian nationalists. That is what is really happening. This is the essence of the problems taking place. And we will finish when we decide to. When we achieve the goals set before the start of the special military operation, when we liberate these territories, that's all there is to it. For 8 years, we did not recognize the self-proclaimed republics. For 8 years, they declared independence, and we tried to establish relations between the rest of Ukraine and these republics. Then, when we realized that it was impossible, that they were simply being destroyed, we were forced to recognize them, and not just recognize them, but in part of the territory. And within the administrative borders, as they existed back in Soviet times, and later during the period of independent Ukraine, after it gained independence within those administrative borders. And we immediately told Ukraine and the Ukrainian military, people do not want to live with you. They held a referendum and voted for independence. Withdraw your troops from there, and there will be no military action at all. But no, they preferred to fight. Well, now they fought to this point. Basically, that's what it all comes down to. So either we will liberate this territory by force, or the Ukrainian troops will do it. In the end, they will leave these territories and stop killing people there. I'm not making anything up here. That's how it has been said historically. Our Russian state was originally formed from several centers. The first capital, according to history, was in the area of the city of Novgorod in the northwest. Then from there, everything, state-related activities shifted to the historic city of Veliki Novgorod and subsequently to Kyiv. And that was ancient Rus. And since then, Kyiv was called the mother of Russian cities. They lived in that part of Ukraine, in that part of the Luhansk or Donetsk region, which was under the control of the Kyiv authorities. But the part of the Luhansk or Donetsk region that was not under control was being destroyed by the Kyiv regime. And we were forced to begin providing support to the part that declared its independence first. Second, we gave people the opportunity to express themselves in an open referendum. Those who thought it was appropriate to be together with Russia voted for it. Those who did not could freely move to other parts of the Ukrainian state. Please, we did not interfere with that. When this gentleman came to power, he declared that he would strive for peace by any means. And he said he would spare nothing for this, including his own career. But as we can see, now everything looks completely different. He, like his predecessors, began to be guided not by the interests of the people, but by the interests of a narrow group of nationalists, radically minded nationalists at that, and in fact is serving their agenda. And this regime, it is very much in its mentality, it really does resemble a neo-Nazi regime, because the extreme form of nationalism and neo-Nazism are almost the same thing. They're essentially the same. These are almost equivalent concepts. And today, without a doubt, everything comes down to military actions on the part of this regime. But even here, they haven't really succeeded much either. As I have already said, the most important thing for them is to realize that the best way to solve problems is to come to an agreement by peaceful means. About what we were trying to agree on back in 2022. As for what they are planning to do there, in reality, you would have to ask them.